Hey, nobody's out there, right? Good. Now I feel less self-conscious. If no one's watching this, it doesn't matter what I say. But anyway, I make a lot of videos and I say a lot of stuff, right? But I always want to clarify just occasionally to keep it real. I want to keep things real. The real truth, like the most true thing I can say, because sometimes I don't even know. I'm like, is what I said true? Is it like this? Is it like this? Just for the record, the most true thing is just that's what happened. That's what happened. That's all I can. If I wanted to say like what's true, I don't know, but like that's what happened. If I look at my life and I'm like, should I have done this? Should I have done that? Was that the right path? Should I focus on my strengths? Should I focus on my weaknesses? I don't know, but like that's what happened. There might not even be free will. People don't even really know that. Whether or not there's free will, whether or not there's free will, all I can really say like is just that's what happened. And you could ask this on like ChatGPT. I'm confused myself as to like what's what, like is what I'm saying bullshit or not? But if you ask ChatGPT, I said, hey, I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, if I'm trying to describe reality with truth, if I'm trying to tell the truth, isn't the really only most truthful thing I can say basically just that's what happened? The real truth would be a comprehensive video of physical reality with a caption that says that's what happened. Now, that's the truth. As soon as I start saying like, oh, but what about this? And like, no, it's like this or it's like that or maybe this, maybe that, maybe I should have done that. You can do that till the cows come home. People are doing that on Twitter. I'm doing that all day long. But at the end of the day, the only real true thing I can say is that's what happened. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Is Jocko right? Is Joel Osteen right? Should you be true to yourself or should you fight your weaknesses? I don't know, but like that's what happened, and that's the only true thing I can say. And so anyway, I just feel like I'm looking at my video, and I would imagine probably no one's watching my video, but I would imagine somebody's watching my video, and they might be saying, yeah, I hear you, dude. Like, I think you're right. Or they might say, no, Sean, you're not right. It's not like that. It's like this. Yeah, people are doing that all day long. But really, like, the only real true thing I can say, even according to ChatGPT, is just, that's what happened. As soon as I start, so just to reiterate, the most true thing I could say are basically just the words of that's what happened. If I'm trying to describe reality and I'm saying like, if I'm trying to say the truth, that's the most true thing I can say is just say that's what happened in terms of what transpired during physical reality, right? Yes. So I mean, like, don't even take my word for it. I'm a fucking fool. I'm sitting in a room being like, is it this? Is it that? Should I have done this? Is it no? Like, you should focus on your strengths. No, you should focus on weaknesses. They can do that till the cows come home. I don't know. Maybe a little this, maybe a little that. All they should really say is just that's what happened. That's the most true thing I can say. Everything else is just, I don't know. Maybe what you're saying is right sometimes. Maybe it's right in certain situations. But really, the only completely non-bullshit thing I can say is just that's what happened. Make of it what you will. As soon as you start making stuff like people are like, but I need to find a comprehensive, empowering meaning. Yeah, sure, do that. But like, after it's done, you can just say that's what happened. That's really the only real, totally true thing you can say. Everything else is kind of like stories that don't cover the full. They don't comprehensively cover the full truth. So you can say that. You can say like, so right. So beyond that, if I start talking about like, it shouldn't have been like that, or no, like it's like this, or you should do this, or you should do that, or that wasn't fair, or that wasn't the right way to do things. Those are all kind of like less true than just saying that's what happened. Those are basically like attempts to represent reality with words that ultimately are just not. It's not that simple. Like there's just multiple stories you can attach to that's what happened that might have more or less truth, or might have more empowering or less powering meanings for you, but ultimately they're not as truthful as just saying that's what happened, right? So yeah, so I mean, like, just the data says that's what happened. So I don't know, I could talk about this till the cows come home. Jordan Peterson is basically combating that. Jordan Peterson is saying like there's certain descriptions and stories about that's what happened. There's certain takes that you can do, spins that you can put on that's what happened, that can be more truthful. All right? So basically, if you say that's what happened, that's the real truth. But then if you start saying like, it's like this, and you start trying to apply labels, or trying to apply recipes for how it should have gone, what kind of things should have happened, things would have been better, what things are good, what things are more good, what things are bad, what things are more bad. It's like some things can be more good or more bad. There can be like more good or more bad stories, more useful or more, yeah, just there can be better recipes, but ultimately all of the words that you're applying, they're not useful all the time. They basically, the words that you apply beyond that's what happened, they just don't totally comprehensively apply in all cases for everybody, and they're kind of lacking, and so they create like a lot of dispute in people's own minds back and forth. And on Twitter, people are saying like, no, it's not like this, you're wrong, it's like this, your take is not correct. Just basically that people are doing that in their head and with other people, because the stories that they're applying to physical reality, they don't adequately cover physical reality. The only real, the main true thing that you can say is just that's what happened. Right? Yeah, so basically like there's kind of a crazy, I don't want to talk about this a lot, but again, everything I'm saying after this, it's just kind of not really totally true. What's totally true? Physical reality, a video of physical reality that just says, that's what happened. Why did it happen? Was that good? Was that bad? That was foolish. You shouldn't have done that. Like, that's not, you're being fake. I don't know, whatever. Just fucking, that's what happened. Somebody might say, that's fake. That's real. That's authentic. That's, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, maybe a little, whatever. Just, that's what happened. That's what happened is the most true thing you can say. And just, good luck covering the truth with words beyond that. I've done a lot of that. It's just like, now, was I being authentic? Like, is that good? Like, that's not good. It shouldn't be like that. Now I got it figured out. This time I'm going to do, yeah, whatever. You can do that till the cops come. While you're doing that, physical reality is going by, and that's what fucking happened. And just, you can keep talking. You can keep doing that. Somebody might be, yeah, you're right. Dude, you're onto something. Like, whatever. You can do that. But that's what fucking happened. That's the only true thing I can really say. ChatGPT verified. But there are some things that are, I don't want to talk about. I should just shut the fuck up. But really, like, there's more useful words than others, and there's data. And so within the midst of that's what happened, you can say like, doesn't. You have a lot of, you have a lot of data. You have a lot of data about people's lives, right? You have a ton of data about like people's lives, successful people's lives, failure people's lives. And based on the just vast amounts of data in terms of observations of that's what happened in physical reality and people's lives, based upon your vast amount of data on that's what happened, physical reality stuff in the past of different people's lives, the vast amount of that's what happened seems to indicate that focusing on your strengths and not wasting too much time trying to compensate for your weaknesses is way better than just spending a lot of time on your weaknesses trying to become an imitation cool guy, right? Just the data says focusing on your strengths is a better recipe for success than wasting too much time compensating for your weaknesses, right? So yes. Yeah, so there's Jordan Peterson's kind of right in the sense that like, yeah, there's lots of different stories. None of them totally cover the truth entirely. They're not perfect stories. They don't, just the real truth is like physical reality. That's what happened. But there are certain like, there's certain things that are more true or more of a good idea or more, they work more often. There's certain words that work more often. Focusing on your strengths, according to data, works more often than wasting your time trying to compensate for weaknesses to become an imitation cool guy to get some sexy woman to fuck you. There's just a lot of examples. That's just common foolishness. It's not perfect. Some guys have tried to fix their weaknesses, been an imitation cool guy, and successfully fucked a hot chick. And they're like, dude, I fucking did it. And people look at them and be like, dude, like, see, you can focus on your weaknesses and fuck a hot chick. But in general, based off of a lot of cases of observing a lot of people's lives, there's just a lot of documented evidence of guys trying to become an imitation cool guy by basically stressing their weaknesses, trying to become something that they're not. In other words, focusing too much effort on their weaknesses, or trying to feature themselves as being strong in something that they're not really strong at, usually in the interest of convincing some pretty young woman to sleep with them. That's a really common human folly, and there's just tons of evidence of many men making that mistake, right? So basically, squandering your natural strengths to try to feature or bolster your weaknesses in the sense of being more attractive to women is just a really common mistake for men, catering to their lust, right? And there's just tons of data and examples of men making that mistake, right? And they would have been better off focusing on their weaknesses, right? Or focusing on their strengths. Yeah, so, okay, that's the last thing I'm going to say. All I wanted to say is that really, in terms of all this blah, 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 I'm doing all this blah, 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 because I'm trying to, like, accurately represent the words. I'm trying to accurately represent that's what happened with, like, the right words, and they always fall short. You can say, like, well, it's not always that. But what you can say, you can refer to data. Really, the most truthful, I'm going to shut up after this, but the most truthful thing I can say, and I've learned this at 45, is just that's what happened. If I say that's what happened, that's the only true thing I can say. But then there's certain descriptions that are more accurate than others based off of, like, data. And so we don't even need to listen to me do that. You can just go to the ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT, focus on your strengths, way more likely to have a good life doing that than compensating for your weaknesses. And there's a lot of fools like me who have abandoned their strengths, squandered their natural gifts to try to compensate for the weaknesses in the interest of being more respectable to men and more sexy to women. And they fuck up their lives. I fucked up my life. I'm a total failure by basically doing that. And so I hope you don't do that. And so I'm just saying, like, focus on your strength. It's just better. Don't be an imitation cool guy. You won't get the hot chick. Even if you get her, it's just not going to work because you're not that. You can't change your genetics. And so, anyway. But again, like, there's this little temptation to say, but, like, a little focus on your weaknesses. Yeah, but, like, mostly focus on your strengths. Just ask ChatGPT. That's more likely to succeed. It's not even me saying that. It's fucking data. And I wish I had done that when I was younger, but I kind of already fucked up my life. So you can learn from my example, young man. If you're watching this, if you're in your 20s, just the data says, go, like, put almost all of your time in your strength if you're remotely good at anything that you can get a job at. And if you try to become an imitation cool guy by focusing on your weaknesses, it's most likely going to result in failure. It did in my case. I hope you do better. Okay.